Jason Leprechaun Jason Hendricks from the Dose Leprechauns, and I'm joined by my co-host
Leprechaun Nate.
And we are back with another edition of Dose Leprechauns podcast. In a few minutes here, we're going to be joined by Torii Hunter Jr., former Notre Dame wide receiver, played a little bit of running back too, a little bit here and there, and also played baseball for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish baseball team. So we're excited to have him on. He's now a minor leaguer in the Angels organization. So excited to have Torii on, talk a little bit about his career, both at Notre Dame and on the baseball field and on the gridiron. But first, it's SC week, Nate, the hated ones. Man, I want to be very confident because the Irish are rolling. We're 11-0. Huge beatdown of Syracuse last week. A lot of people thought that was going to be a tough game for us, and we ended up completely dominating that football game. But you can never take SC lightly. Whether they're 11-0 or 5-6 like they are right now, they're still going to give the Irish a fight. They're still very talented. They have a lot of skilled players that can make some plays. So I really hope that Kelly has the boys ready to go. I think he does. So we'll see. We'll see how they come out ready to go. What do you think?
I think the same thing, but I think it's going to be like the last time they played at the Coliseum where like Notre Dame wasn't doing so well and they just gave it their all and like didn't really care what happened. SC's going to be the same way. So yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tougher than I think a lot of people think. We'll see what happens. I look for JT Daniels as their freshman quarterback. I think he's 18 years old. Just checking the time, sorry. 18 years old. But he threw for over 250 yards last week against UCLA. They've got some running backs that can make some plays. I've got Amaran St. Brown, who the Irish were heavily recruiting, obviously, the brother of Equinemius St. Brown and Osiris St. Brown of Stanford. They've got playmakers, and they will make some things happen. On defense, they've got Imani Marshall, pretty good defensive player. They've got a pretty decent D-line. I think the thing that's hurting USC a lot this year is the injuries. They don't have a lot of depth, and it just seems like the morale isn't there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it usually is, just a lot of freshmen playing.
Yeah, I mean, you look at a few years ago, and these players were ready to run through a wall for Clay Helton to be their head coach. Now, we live here in the SoCal area close to SC, and all you hear on sports talk radio is fire Clay Helton, fire Clay Helton. So it's just so funny to me how fickle college football fans are. A couple years ago, Clay Helton had them right in the thick of things in the national championship conversation. Now this year they want to fire him just because they've had some injuries. But, I wish nothing but the worst for the USC football program, obviously other than no injuries or anything like that, but in terms of success. So you just have to understand, a lot of people ask me why I hate SC so much. It's a personal thing, man. I've been to games out there so many different times, and the fans just treat you like trash if you're an opposing fan going into the Coliseum. It's not a good place to go hang out at. The area around the Coliseum is not exactly, Palo Alto. It's just not an enjoyable experience for an opposing fan, in my opinion. Had some negative experiences in my experiences out there, so just not a fan of the program and the way they do things, and obviously it doesn't help that they dominated us for quite some time. But Notre Dame still leads the overall series, 47 wins versus 37 wins and 5 ties. Last year, obviously, just totally dismantled that team, 49-14. It was just a total beatdown, and that was with their Heisman candidate, Sam Darnold, as their quarterback. So their biggest win this year is their 39-36 victory over Washington State. That is a pretty big win. So you can see that they can do some damage against some very talented teams, but they've also had losses at Stanford, at Texas, at Utah, and home losses to the Sun Devils, Cal, and last week's loss on the road to UCLA, where they gave up over 300 yards on the ground.
And UCLA has 2 wins.
Yeah, so UCLA is not exactly a powerhouse this year, and they lost to them and gave up over 300 yards on the ground. One of the kids that gained a lot of yards, over 250 yards, I believe, is a kid named Josh Kelly, who played at UC Davis a couple years ago, barely a D1 program. Now he's starting at UCLA, running for over 250 yards against the Trojans. So you kind of want to believe that Dexter Williams Dexter Jafar and Tony Jones Jr. will have a field day. But again, Kevin Masterson just chimed in here that USC will empty the playbook, and that's exactly what I'm saying. They have the guys out there that can really make some plays, and I see them holding nothing back, going for fake punts, going for fake field goals, 4th down, going for it all the time. They want to embarrass the Irish. They want to ruin our season, and they want to try to become bowl eligible with the 6 wins. So we'll see. We got Kevin on with us, Sean Hagan, Derek Stockenberg is on too. We got Elizabeth, our former producer. Jerry Ann Gold is on with us, Ray Valencia. But it's time now to bring on Torii Hunter Jr., our guest for today. So we're going to get him on the phone here. Let's see. Go ahead and scroll up there, Nate. Let's give Torii a call. Hey, Torii, how you doing? This is Jason and Nate, the Dos Leprechauns. Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How you doing today, Torii?
I'm good, man. How are you?
We're great, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, man.
Great. So, I just wanted to ask. So, when you went to ND, obviously you were recruited as a football player. Were you recruited for baseball at all as well, or did you walk onto the baseball team?
I was recruited a little bit, but for the most part, yeah, I was a walk-on at Notre Dame for baseball.
Okay, all right. And who recruited you? Who was your main recruiter in terms of the football program?
Football, it was Kerry Cooks,
Oh, yeah?
and mainly Coach Cooks. This was his recruiting area.
Okay, very cool. In the Texas area, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What was your most memorable moment on the field at Notre Dame?
At Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Man, I was just actually talking about this morning. Just walking out of the stadium for the first time, walking out of the tunnel for the first time, and hearing the people say, and there's a man. That's probably like the most exciting thing ever. Hearing that before kickoff and everything like that. So that's probably something that I'll never forget. Like the first time getting to experience that. It's something that I miss a lot from Notre Dame.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, what do you remember? This is a moment that I'll never forget. That 2016 game in Texas to open the season. You obviously were taken out of that game. Do you remember much about that game before that happened, or anything after that, since you were hit illegally?
I remember everything leading up to the hit, and then so like there's a short period like after the hit that I don't really remember. So like the whole part of me being on the ground and walking to the locker room, I don't remember like any of that. I just remember taking steps into the locker room and sitting on the training table, and they were asking like what I remembered. That's when my memory came back. But yeah, man, it was a pretty scary situation. But I can't remember like the little 5 or 10 minutes after I got hit. It's a scary thing.
Yeah, man, I remember that vividly, and I'll never forget because you guys were rolling when that happened, and it seemed like you were getting some of the momentum back. Kaiser was starting to hit his targets. You guys were starting to get open, and then that was like a total deflating type situation, and for it to be an illegal hit, and it kind of took the air out of our wind out of our sails, so to speak. So that's something that I think really changed the course, really, of that season. So it's really unfortunate that happened, but you were really balling out before that happened, though.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
For sure. So, have you been able to keep up much with this year's team? Like talking to some of the guys, and if so, what are your thoughts on the season, and what do you think about this upcoming showdown on Saturday with Southern Cal?
I think that the entire group, that team is bought in. I haven't really talked to many of the guys, but just watching how they carry themselves. For even some of the younger guys that are sophomores, freshmen. Or it might be their first year with the program. They're showing a lot of maturity, and they're going out there preparing the right way and taking care of business every week. And yeah, man, they're buying into the game plan and whatever Coach Kelly and all the other coaches have been preaching, they're buying into it, and it's starting to show on the field. And I'm excited for these guys, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is really a very unique team. You kind of think of the brotherhood of all the teams that have been around under the Kelly era, and I wanted to kind of ask you. You brought that up. I was just saying before we brought you on that college football fans can be so fickle. It's what have you done for me lately type deal. A lot of people don't want to trust the process, to use that cliche. But having played under Coach Kelly for a few years, what's your take on him? And I know you guys had a really difficult season in 2016, but what's your take on his coaching style, and do you think he's still the right guy at Notre Dame, and do you think this team's really kind of proven that?
It's kind of a tough question, but I feel like now Coach Kelly has really like won over his teammates. I feel like the guys are really having fun. Um, and I mean, I think he's the right guy, man. He's obviously showing that right now. In 2012, um, they went to the national championship as well. So I mean, he's not like a bad coach at all. And some people might think so, but I think he's a good coach, and he has a lot of great guys around him, other coaches around him.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I think the guys are really just they feel that connection with Coach Kelly right now, and they're starting to buy into everything he's saying. So yeah, kudos to him, and whatever he did different. I haven't been able to be around, but whatever he did different, to get guys to buy in is definitely helping.
Awesome. Good answer. Okay, so obviously you had a lot of offers coming out of high school and everything like that, and obviously a big name and things like that. What made you, obviously Coach Cook's recruiting you pretty hard, going after you pretty hard, but what made you choose Notre Dame over some of your other offers?
Really just the conversations that I've had with coaches, and just the feeling I got when I stepped on Notre Dame campus, for the first time. I had Alabama, I had some SEC schools, I had some Pac-12 schools, but there wasn't a lot of schools that preached academic excellence and as well as athletic excellence. So it was that was something I was looking for coming out of high school. I really liked Stanford initially, and that was probably like the number one school that I wanted to go to if I had gotten an offer. But yeah, so when Notre Dame offered, and I actually looked into Notre Dame, I didn't really know much about them, but I looked into Notre Dame and saw what they were about. And once I took that visit and I got on campus, there was just a feeling that I got that kind of overcame me, and I was like, all right, I kind of like this place a lot. I should probably look into taking another visit out here. And I signed up for my official, and then I went on my official to the Michigan game, 2012, and that was a huge game for Notre Dame, rivalry game. They ended up beating them pretty good, so that was an exciting time for me, and I was pretty high, high on that feeling. I can't really explain it. It's hard to explain the feeling that I had. It was just I was overcoming a lot of just excitement and emotions, and I was just like, all right, this is the place I want to be, man. These guys are good guys. I've met them a couple times. I'm like, these are guys I'm going to be playing with. And, I like them a lot. I like the coaches. The coaches are keeping it real with me. Not being around the bush, not preaching just championships, but they were preaching that I would have a great network if I came to Notre Dame.
Sure.
40-year decision, not 4-year decision. So there was a lot of things that I was trying to keep out during my recruiting process, and Notre Dame was checking off a lot of the boxes that I had put forward.
Did your dad play much of a role in your decision to pick the Irish?
Oh, no, I mean, not at all, man. My parents, they kind of kept their head out of it, or their hand out of it. They wanted me to make the right decision. They probably had their preferences, but for the most part, they left it to me. They didn't say anything, which way they were leaning. Until after the fact, they were like, "Yeah, I wanted you to go to Notre Dame or Stanford or something like that." And so yeah, they had their preferences, but they never voiced them until after the fact. But yeah, they were supportive of everything that I wanted to do, and they didn't want me to have any regrets at the end of the day.
One of the things that I found really cool about your time at Indy was your dad was at every single game, it seemed like, and that team had a lot of star power, but you guys made your own name, and you never really, having had an opportunity to meet a lot of the guys, it never really felt like you were using your parents to kind of give you that extra status, and that goes for you, Corey Robinson, Jesse Bon Jovi, those guys. So it was really cool to see that you guys were still able to stay level-headed in that situation.
Yeah, man, that's just a credit to how we were raised, man, and speaking for Corey and Jesse, those are guys that they want to get it and they want to make it on their own, and have something to show for it and prove other people wrong, because other people would think that everything that we have is handed out to us, but those guys as well as me, We try to go out there every day and prove that we're trying to make a name for ourselves. And it's not necessarily a bad thing to have a dad like Bon Jovi or David Robinson and Torii Hunter. It's not a bad thing to have that. It's a blessing, but
Sure.
And it's a blessing, to have all of the things that comes with it, connections and other things like that comes with having a father like that. But at the same time, you kind of want to prove people wrong. Like, hey, this isn't easy for me either. I had to grind to get to where I was, and I had to grind to stay where I was. So
Sure.
I think we all do a good job of trying to prove people wrong.
That's a great answer, man. Thank you. Had a question from our audience here. Bradley Bisich, sorry if I got that name wrong, wanted to know: would you ever consider a return to football, or is baseball the sole focus now?
Yeah, man, I've been asked this question so many times, but no, I'm not expecting a return to football, but I mean, you never know. I'm just talking, man. I'm just trying to be funny, but I don't know. I don't see myself trying to come back to football. I'm really diving into this baseball thing, man, and to be great, you gotta go at it 100%. So that's kind of where my mind is right now.
Okay.
Not really looking at many plan Bs right now, but so yeah, I'm just trying to hit this thing hard, man. I feel like I got a chance to make it to the big league, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go hard at it no matter what I'm doing.
So that's a good transition point for us. We wanted to get into your baseball time a little bit here. So first off, did you have a favorite sport growing up? Was it baseball or football? Both? Would you prefer?
Actually, I really like basketball, man.
Oh, okay.
I loved basketball growing up, and maybe because it was just the speed of the sport. A lot of other sports you could be like baseball. Nobody was hitting it to the field, or no people were striking out a lot. It was just kind of boring for me at the time. And then football. I mean, it was cool. Like, it was cool. I kind of was over it after a while. I got kind of burnt out at a young age because it was just a lot of football for me growing up. And then basketball was like super fast paced, always running all the time. And I don't know, I just really like basketball. But once I got to high school, my mindset kind of shifted, and football and baseball were those were the ones that I actually fell in love with. Basketball was something that I was kind of flirting with early on, but
Okay.
football and baseball is what I fell in love with. So. Yeah.
Now, are you playing in any fall leagues right now, winter leagues, anything like that before the regular season starts?
Not this year, but hopefully next year.
Okay.
I'll be able to go into a fall league or a winter league and get some extra at bats and do that whole deal. So, but not right now. Just focusing on my craft right now and trying to get better.
Do you have any idea where the Angels are going to start you this year? Are you going to be at Inland Empire or maybe Arkansas?
There's a possibility that I can be in Inland again, but I haven't been told anything specifics. But that's where I'm hoping to be, at least on the low end. Yeah, so high A and Inland Empire is where I want to be. That's the desired situation.
Well, from a selfish perspective, we hope you're there too, because we live like 10 minutes from the stadium. So we were.
Yeah, man. I saw you told me that, man. I wish you guys would have came out, or did you come out?
Yeah, we came out once, and you were getting in the middle of BP, so we don't want to bug you too much. But yeah, it was really cool to see you out there playing, man.
It's a great experience, man. I feel like I've come a long way since starting my first season last year, but I've come a long way, but there's still a long way to go, and a lot of work to be done. But
Sure.
It's exciting, man. It's a fun process.
Well, either way, whatever happens, we wish you the best on that. We always want to give our guests an opportunity to kind of plug how people can follow them, maybe anything that they're working on, any kind of programs you have going on, anything like that. So now's your opportunity. If you want to go ahead and do that, please do so.
You guys can follow me on Instagram at T Hunter Jr. _ or Twitter at T Hunter Jr. That's really about it, man. That's not a lot going on for me right now, but If I got something in mind, I'll let y'all know.
Now, I thought I saw on your Instagram or somewhere that are you doing some sort of training program or camp for kids or something like that?
Yeah, I am. So I'm doing like one-on-one lessons right now, hitting outfield drills and wide receiver drills right now. So, um, yeah, if you wanted to do that and you're in the North Dallas area, North Dallas, North Texas area, um, then yeah, we could see if we can make something happen, man. And yeah, and I'm not really doing much traveling right now to do training, but yeah, North Texas, North Dallas area. Yeah, just email selena.bell@att.net, and we'll get back with you on that. So.
You know, we'll drop that in the show notes too, because we have a lot of people listening from all over the country, so we'll definitely drop that in there and maybe get a few up and coming athletes to come and see you.
All right, that sounds good, man. I appreciate that.
All right, Torii. Well, hey, thank you so much for the time. Have a very happy Thanksgiving, and good luck in this upcoming baseball season.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys, man. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, very cool interview there with Torii Hunter Jr. I thought he was pretty grounded, and you know, one of the cool things that I always thought about with, like I mentioned, Corey Robinson, Jesse Bon Jovi, and Torii Jr. was, you know, you had an opportunity to meet a lot of those guys. They were always just so cool, so down to earth. You know, your dad is literally a multimillionaire, some of the most famous people on the planet, really, if you think about it, well, at least in the country. And they're just walking around like normal guys, you know, student athletes, and that's what really one of the other things that I think really separates Notre Dame from other colleges, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, what was it like when you met with Corey and Torii, and then what did you think of those guys?
I mean, they were really cool and everything. Even when they lost, like Arizona State, Stanford. I mean, any game I've been to be honest.
This guy doesn't remember those kind of details, but one of the cool moments after the Stanford game, I think it was 2015. Nate had an opportunity to meet Torii Jr., and Torii Sr. was there, and you know, we were saying hi to him and everything like that.
State.
Well, that one too, but we also saw him at Stanford.
Oh.
But anyways, what happened was Torii Sr. kind of brought over Torii Jr. and was like, "Hey, you're the star. You're the star." So I thought that was really cool. Really, very tight knit family, very good group of people right there. So it was really a pleasure to have Torii Jr. on with us. Had a lot of comments about that he was one of favorite players of people and things like that. Want to give a big shout out to Cheryl Bryant joining us. That's Big Baby. If you don't know, Dexter Williams' mom. So Cheryl, hope you're doing well. Hopefully we're going to see you here at SC. If not, maybe at the bowl game or the playoffs, I should say. Dun dun dun. Jeff Evans says hello from Bluffton, SC. I guess that's South Carolina. Very cool. Never even heard of Bluffton. Huge. Who is calling? Oops. If somebody was trying to call, go ahead and call back. I didn't mean to hit decline. Real quick, I wanted to say a big shout out to Brian Little, your favorite blockhead, his podcast. He's helping us out with getting the podcast on iTunes. So we're now on iTunes and YouTube. So subscribe to us on both of those, please. We'd really appreciate it. But yeah, Brian Little, check out his podcast, You Are Favorite Blockhead. Really, really enjoyable show. He talks about everything you can think of. He does an awesome job, takes calls, just a lot of fun. So give him a follow if you could, please. Oh, you got an SC guy watching here. Bryce, are you on, Bryce? Drop some comments down there, bud. What you think, buddy? Bryce Howell, big SC fan watching. I work with him, and he is a big SC fan, but I think he's grounded in reality this year. Got Anthony DeRico watching with us. What's up, bud? Ruby Acosta, Seth Henninger, Raymond Badia, Constance Hurd, David O'Neill. We're going to sign off here in a minute. If you want to call in, we'll keep the phone line open for another 5 minutes or so. 951-206-9403. Once again, 951-206-9403 if you want to give us a call. If you haven't heard, just announced this today on our Dos Leprechauns page. We've added a new admin, which I am beyond excited about. Mark Edwards, Irish legend, Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots, is now one of our admin. He's going to be doing some interacting with the fans on some of the various posts. He's also going to be doing some videos, breakdowns of the game, things of that nature. So, Mark, thank you so much for joining us. Let's see. Also, Jason Lynch, Mark Edwards is going to be joining our admin team of Nate, myself, Jason Lynch, Matt Dunbar, Jason Pruitt, Patrick McCormick, Ben Walters, and Wayne Smith. I can't say enough about those guys and how much they've helped out the page and helped get us to where we are now, and with their edits and everything like that. They've done a great job. Okay, we're going to take a quick call here. This is the Dos Leprechauns. Who's this?
It's me. Matt, how you doing?
Who is this?
It's Matt McGinnis.
Oh, Matt McGinnis, our producer extraordinaire on the phone.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. What's going on?
Just want to say you guys are, you're doing okay without me and everything, and just want to say great job on the Edwards, getting another big admin. You guys doing great, looking great. Just want to say, and Nate, get at me tonight. UFC is going down.
Oh,
What did he say?
he said get at him on UFC tonight.
Oh, okay.
I love you. Good job.
Thanks for the call, Matt. Have fun crawling around in attics the rest of the day.
I'll do what I can, brother. I'll do it.
All right, go Irish. All right, so that was our producer, Matt Corndog McGinnis. But again, going back to that, our producers, everybody that helps us out, thank you very much for all the support. Also, we have a contest going on right now on the Dos Leprechauns page, so if you're not following the page, please do. The contest basically is if you click on the link, click on the comment section, invite some friends to the page, you'll be entered into winning a very similar replica of the Play Like a Champion Today sign, courtesy of Madmore Creations. Check out their Facebook page or their website. They are awesome. They are the only company that's licensed to paint the Play Like a Champion Today sign, so you're legit when you get those things. So the winner, we'll do it as a randomizer. Every time you enter or invite somebody, you'll be entered into the drawing. You can do it as many times as you want, invite as many people as you want. But we want to continue to grow the page. We're really trying to get to that 5,000 follower mark. So please help us out with that. So I believe that's all I have. Maurice Williams, thanks for joining us. Missy Lay, thanks for joining us. If you didn't have a chance to watch it live, make sure you check it out on YouTube or iTunes. It'll be on there here probably by the end of the day. So, again, thank you, Torii Hunter Jr., for joining us. Nate, you have anything as we sign off?
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, get us to 100. We only have 2 more to get to 100. Comment on everything, and then friend request me on PS4, seeing 15 time.
Yeah, and we are 3 days, 19 hours, and 39 minutes away from Notre Dame versus SC. We will be there. Sorry, this guy can't go this time, but I'll be there in the press box. We also will have Jason Pruitt, one of our admin, in the seats. He's going to be going live on Twitter. I'll be going live on Facebook from time to time. I want to thank TNNDN for helping us get the credentials and for all the support throughout the years. So with that, we're going to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. Stay blessed at your Thanksgiving. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Enjoy the time with your family. Count your blessings, because a lot of people don't have what we have. And I want to also give a big shout out to all the firefighters fighting the blazes around California, and really praying that we find some of these missing people up north, because that's just a tragic situation. So please keep them in your thoughts and prayers as you celebrate with your families this Thanksgiving. Have a great day. Hope to see a lot of you on Friday at the pep rally or Saturday at the game. If you see me, hit me up. Say what's up. Let's talk. Talk some Notre Dame football and have some fun. All right, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Go Irish.